Hi, it's Angela and Happy New Year! It is 2021 finally, and in the beginning of 2020, I decided that I would do this fun little project where I would take a picture every day on my cell phone and kind of compile it and talk to you guys about it. But 2020 didn't really end up being what I thought 2020 would be. So many things got canceled, so many things got postponed, so many just days of just at home doing nothing. So I figured I would still upload this video and show you guys all the images that I captured in 2020 on my phone. But just know that it is definitely not what I thought it was going to be, and a little bit less exciting than I thought it was going to be. And I hope you still like it. And let's go to my computer. So let's start in January, obviously. This was a capital at sunrise, and I'm probably not going to talk about every single one of these images just because that will be really long and kind of boring, and some of them don't really have a story, but I'll just highlight some of the best of the best, I guess. I don't know. I'll just talk about them. So this is the first Sunday sunrise that I went to with my friend Andy in the beginning of the year. Just messaged a whole group of us and asked if we wanted to meet up for sunrise on a Sunday, and then it just ended up being a thing in the beginning of the year. So this was the first Sunday sunrise that we went to at the Lincoln Memorial. It wasn't the best sunrise, but it was just fun just to get out and take pictures with others. So since then, in the beginning of the year, I remember just being so motivated to go out to take pictures. We finally had some snow that winter, and this was the first snowfall of 2020, but also of the winter season. So I was so excited. The next day I went out to go fly my drone, which was really fun. Always a lot of fun. Dentists are not fun, but pizza is fun. And this was the next following Sunday. So probably every 7 images you'll see will be another Sunday sunrise image. So this was sunrise at the Lincoln Memorial again. I just remember this day in particular, the floor of the Lincoln Memorial was so reflective. It rained a lot the day before, so it must have been a whole bunch of rainwater that got in. But I just remember it being super reflective when I got there. This was at an architect house preview in January, and it was just a really cool exhibit to check out. This is my nephew playing basketball. He was on the basketball team, and it was really exciting just to watch him play as much as I could. This is another Sunday sunrise. I can just tell by what I captured here. Probably just a rainy, wet sunrise day. This was one of my images printed for a client, and I thought it looked really good, so I had to capture that. And then in the beginning of the year, my mom also told me, or threatened me, that I had to clean out my old childhood room because I haven't in years and I still have a lot of stuff in there, and she was just like, you need to get all this stuff out. So I found my old Olympus point and shoot film camera, and I wish it still worked. I even changed the battery and everything just to find, just to see if it would still work, and I think the flash won't come out, so it's not letting the lens come out, and so it's just not working. I don't know if it'd be worth it to get it fixed or anything, but I still have it, so if you have any suggestions, let me know. Another beautiful sunrise at the Lincoln Memorial, and this was Chinese New Year celebrations with family. Chinese New Year in Chinatown. This is when I gave a presentation to a photo club in Maryland about creative compositions. And this was from my room as well. These are my high school prints that I had printed and developed in the dark room, and I just thought that it was really cool just to reminisce and see them again. And then the last day of January, I went to a Apple Talk in DC just to check it out. So on February 1st, I know this day because I don't go to the Arboretum that often, but this day I was meeting up with friends to go shoot film, and I only had my film camera with me. Super Bowl, who watches, the only reason why you watch the Super Bowl is for the halftime show, right? So J-Lo in the picture. This is me and my friend Austin. We went to go visit a monastery. More basketball. This is my cousin's private gym, and so we were allowed to bring our dogs there, and this is his dog Tula. Working on the blog, my friend's birthday, and then my friend's wedding. And I remember this day because this was this was the last time I saw my really good friends together, like all together in a group. And I'm so glad we were able to celebrate my friend Sarah and her husband Brad to get married. And this was before like COVID or anything. It was even like a consideration. So we're getting my nails done, Valentine's Day, my cousin's birthday, her son, my nephew's birthday, Library of Congress when the reading room is open. A puzzle I had completed even before quarantine, which is weird. I love fries. I spent a weekend in New York, and those were some images from there. Some days I just like went on walks purposely just so I could try to find things to photograph. Like this day I probably just was like, oh shoot, I didn't shoot anything today, so at Whole Foods. This was at, our neighbor has a dog food truck, and so they had a dog food truck event, and I was there volunteering to take pictures in front of the DeLorean, and that was a lot of fun to do. So that was the last day of February. And now March. Like, I really wish out of everything that I did for this entire picture in a day project that I photographed when I knew COVID was a thing. Like when I first heard about it, or when we first started getting to lockdown and things like that, just because I wish I had some kind of like documentation about that. I can tell when I first started learning about it and what it really was through my pictures, but as far as like if you were just to look at it, I don't think you would be able to tell. So that's the one thing that I wish I had done during this whole entire project. But this is when it's starting to hit. So this is March, and we're celebrating my nephew and niece's birthday. They were born February 29th and March 1st, so they had a joint birthday, and that was really nice. I remember this day, I wasn't feeling well. I was kind of in bed all day, and so that's just my view from bed. We won't talk about every single one because there's not really much to say. But I did take a picture of this because it said, "Cool Prius," said nobody. Okay, so here is when I feel like I first started hearing about COVID and the coronavirus and everything like that, because the next few days I just tried to go out to shoot as much as I could, because I was thinking I want to just shoot as much as I can so I could just stay at home and edit for 2 weeks and then everything will be fine, right? So I was working on a project where I had to go to all these different locations. I was at the zoo and different places, and this was also the time when flowers really started blooming in DC. So I was taking pictures for the project, but also taking pictures of the flowers around the city. I was at Madame Tussauds taking pictures for the project, and I love George Clooney, and I was glad to see him there. And this is when my image was featured on our local news, so that was really cool to just slide into there. And I remember this is the top of the old post office, and I was there with my friend, and we were just talking about everything that was happening and like what is life going to be like now and what to expect. And I just remember being so confused and so lost, kind of like what is happening. So I went to the museums to take a lot of pictures, out just taking pictures. And this is like the first sign of COVID, when all the grocery stores were just empty. There is nothing. It was crazy. I don't even know. And then also, it was also cherry blossom season, and it was so weird and awkward because no one was at the cherry blossoms, first of all. And then people who were there, it was just like very eerie feeling and very nervous feeling, and you're just like very aware of who is around you and your surroundings. It was just very uncomfortable going to cherry blossoms this year. This is my friends and I's first Zoom puzzles in quarantine, going on walks with my dog, Frankie. You will see starting from now. Oh, and then at-home workouts, which is also really weird. Costco, and this was the first time I really experienced like social distancing and what that would look like. I don't know if you can see, but are people even wearing masks in this? Like, okay, one person is, but everybody else isn't even wearing masks yet. Like, this is the beginning beginning of COVID. I don't even think we had the stay-at-home order yet that we needed to stay home. And then just like going on these walks, you see these caution tapes everywhere. It was crazy. So this, I do remember, was the day before we were supposed to stay at home. Andrew and I were like, we should just go on a long hike. And we brought the backpack with us because we knew Frankie wouldn't be able to go on as long of a hike as we would wanted to. And I just remember it being so weird. And just like, we need to just get out as much as we can before we had to stay at home. So this was all just in the neighborhood, I guess. So in April, just taking pictures at home because I didn't really know what to take pictures of. And then social distancing at Trader Joe's and what that looked like. Obviously cooking more at home, trying new recipes and things like that. And then a little sign that says stay healthy in our neighborhood. Working from home and all the beautiful blossoms. This is my shadow picking up a flower. And a dog in our neighborhood giving our dog a little hug. More flowers, more just like neighborhood walks. And this was the first time that I had seen people really like wearing masks and like social distancing in our neighborhood, and that was really weird. So I documented that. No toilet paper in the grocery stores, just dogs in our neighborhood, masks, dogs in Target, weird shadows. A gift that my cousin surprised me with. So Costco. More people are wearing masks in this picture. Everybody's wearing a mask. Everybody's social distancing. It was just so weird. So another thing that happened in quarantine was that I started running. I haven't ran since like 2015. So it had been a really long time since I just ran for fun. So this picture, I know it was because I was on a run, and it was just the only way to get out and to get exercise and to really like stress relief. And I took pictures of the gas because gas was so cheap. Like I couldn't believe that I filled up my whole tank in like $13. Just more neighborhood walks, things around the neighborhood, reading. And then our neighbor who has the dog food truck, he had an event in our neighborhood, so we brought our dog there with us. And this was the first time back at the Washington Monument. So awkward. And then just like a little selfie of like what it was like being out. Like you're just totally hidden. It was so weird. Mother's Day. Chasing the lights and the shadows. And then a sign that says thank you health workers along my run, which I thought was really nice. Little love on our hike. And then this was on our run. I just thought that every time I ran past this house, it was like always something new out on our yard. I should have done like a series on that, but like they just had random stuff out there. It was weird. This was at our post office, like more signs of COVID and what to do when entering public spaces. More hikes, more walks, more heroes, more sunsets. And then this was an Instagram live that I did with my friend Professor Hines. That was a lot of fun, and it was my first ever Instagram live that I'd ever done. So in June 1st was really the first time that I had gone to any protests in the DC area. Like the whole Black Lives Matter movement was really, really kicking off and in the heat of it at the very end of May and the very beginning of June. And so this was the first protest and walk that I had gone to. These freedom fighters were handing out waters, hand sanitizer, masks to anybody who needed it. And I just thought that was really great that they were there helping everybody protest. This was a sit-in that I attended at the Capitol. And then it was Frankie's first vet visit during COVID, and it was weird because it was like kind of like a drop-off thing where the vet tech would come and pick up our dog from our car, and then they would bring him in instead of us all going in together. That was really weird and awkward. More walks. That's the fence outside of the White House. More puppy pictures. More puppy pictures. And then I attended the Focus on the Story 2020 photo festival. It was all virtual, so it was really nice to be able to watch all the seminars and talks that we were able to. I got a haircut. Just more walks and runs in the neighborhood, just a doctor's appointment. This was a photo talk that I did again with Professor Hines and with Zeiss, and that was a lot of fun doing that. And my friend Andy, who attended the talk, screenshotted this for me. So this is purely because I wanted to remember where I parked, and it was probably the only picture that I took on my cell phone at that time. Oh, by the way, this is all on an iPhone 8. All of these images here. I get a new phone in the middle of the year, but this is with the iPhone 8, and this is where I parked that day. This was our first time eating indoors during COVID, and that was really weird too. Some sunrise, some social distancing at Chipotle. And this is funny, this is weird. It was self-cleaning buttons. I didn't know what that meant, so I had to take a picture of that. Little puppets. And in July, we took a day trip to New Jersey just to visit family and just to check in on them, and it was really great. First time really in New Jersey. And this is my mom. She's pointing to some of her fruits that are in her yard. She gardens a lot, and so she's always showing me all of her fruits and things that are growing in her yard. So she's really proud of her garden. This is my friends. I first time seeing them since February. Home stuff. Sunrise with my friend Sam. Going on walks. Costco again. I think I took so many pictures of Costco and Target and things like that, and just like those type of things, just because that was like the highlight of my day. There was like nothing else to do or nothing else to take pictures of, and I wanted to be sure to capture something a little bit more interesting than what was going on at home, because there was really nothing going on. I went out to go shoot the lightning storm. I was at the Lincoln Memorial, and I captured this, and I was so excited. So I took a picture of the back of my screen and basically just texted it to everyone I knew. Sunset at the Capitol. More hikes. This is how sweaty I get when I run, and I just wanted to photograph that and send it to everyone I know. Capitol. I went to the Capitol a lot. I didn't even realize. So August, this is my birthday month. We obviously started this off in Shenandoah, just going on a little car ride along Skyline Drive, just to get out. This was on a run. I saw this lady with the red hat, and I knew I wanted to try to capture her with the white fencing since she was wearing white. And I remember like following her for a while just to get this picture, and because I wasn't doing anything else that day. The sunset at the the Washington Monument. It was just like a beautiful sunset. So I get the iPhone 11 finally, but I don't keep this phone. You will see in a couple of days. Topgolf, attending more webinars and just trying to learn more during quarantine. My friend's little boy eating ice cream. Another reminder of where I parked. Post office. Target. I went out to shoot the night sky, the Milky Way. The Milky Way in Shenandoah. So I took a picture of this back of my screen again. So you can see that it's like becoming my birthday soon, because like cake, nails, A7R3. Donut, crab legs. I love crab legs. This was the day before my birthday, the March on Washington. And somehow I got to the top of the Lincoln Memorial and it was insane. This was my birthday. I got the iPhone 11 Pro, among some other things. And this is at the dog park. This dog always wears these shades, and I think it's to protect his eyes. He must be sensitive somehow, but it's so cute to see him. And I said I wouldn't talk about every single picture, but I guess here we are. Some more lights and shadows. French fries. I love French fries. My friend's daughter made me this happy birthday card, and so I was just taking a picture to show her that Frankie saw it too, because it was like a birthday card for me and Frankie. Just walking around DC, taking pictures. I had cracked my screen already, like within a week of having the new phone, and so I had to go back to the Apple store to go get it fixed. And this also is probably the beginning, this image right here, is also the beginning of me starting, is there a Capitol picture? Of me starting the Capture the Capitol series that I did with Events DC. This took up a lot of my September, and just this huge 6-video series that I did. I can link it down below if in case you're interested in checking it out. But my friend Dave right here, he was the one helping me film it all, and it was just a lot of my September. And then my friend Andy helped me one day film as well. We were at Rock Creek Park. All of these images, like even this one, these obviously, this one, all of these have something to do with Capture the Capitol series. Another selfie, another beautiful sunrise at the Capitol. I'd taken this picture of the donuts in February, I believe, and it was for my cousins who are getting married in October. And so I'd printed it out for them so that they could use it at their wedding. They just had like this small wedding ceremony, and it was just really nice. Mostly just family. And there was somebody else. More dog pictures because he's dog of the year. TV, the wedding that I mentioned before. And then in October, we finally went on our first like real trip anywhere, and we drove from DC to New Hampshire, and that was an adventure all in itself. And so this is us finally getting to New Hampshire. This was in Vermont, like at some random rest stop. And then this is finally us in New Hampshire. It was beautiful. We were there at exactly the right time because all the leaves were changing, and it was just really, really nice. This is Old Town Road, like the song. I literally pulled over just to take that picture. And then on the way back, we stopped in Maine to get some lobster rolls, and this is us driving back. And then another vet appointment for the Franks, and that's him right there. This is another one of my mom's like melons that she grows in her yard. I voted, and then this is the Women's March in October, which was a whole different experience than what the Black Lives Matter sunrise at the Lincoln Memorial. And then my cousin planned this like really cute barbecue for us, and that was us outdoors eating. This was at Shenandoah. We stopped to get some apple cider donuts. We photographed the sunrise in Shenandoah. Another sunrise. And this was my first photo walk that I held all year in 2020 at the Arboretum. It was a rainy day, and I'm so glad it was for a photo club, and we only had 5 attendees, but I'm so glad that we had planned for this day because it was raining, but it was still a beautiful day of just like colors and foliage and things like that. But I don't think I would have gone if it was just me planning to go by myself. But since I was going with a group of people, I didn't want to let anybody down, so I still went, and most everybody still went, and it was just like a really nice time. Like, I think we all came out with some really nice images that we could all be really proud of, and it was just nice to be out together, but also in the rain was just something that like I don't think any of us really would have done had we not had each other to keep each other accountable. More more dog walks, more walks around the neighborhood. Started running on the track more. I read a lot during quarantine as well. This was Halloween, so instead of going trick-or-treating, one of my cousins planned a kind of a piñata for Halloween instead of going trick-or-treating. Oh, that must have been October 30th. And then so this was actually Halloween. It was moonrise, but as you could see, it was so cloudy. I was basically just standing there with clouds and not seeing anything. But had the moon risen, it would have risen right over the Jefferson Memorial, and that would have been really cool. November. This is when those pods started popping up in the area. This is election day, and I remember going to the White House to try to capture it all, and I just remember being so lost and confused, and just the energy there was so weird. I don't know. But this was the first time I had gone on an airplane of all of 2020, and I went to Miami to visit my friend for the weekend, and it was hurricane and raining and storms there, but it was still really nice just to like get out. And sunrise at the tidal basin, more neighborhood walks, Swan Street in DC. This was my friend Birch's text when she texted us that a class that we were holding with RGDC in the Phillips collection was sold out, processes and permission slips, and it was crazy. It sold out within like 2 or 3 hours, which is crazy. And this was us preparing for it because we spent so much time preparing for it. I feel like we were on a Zoom call like every day or every other day trying to prepare for it. It was really a lot of work, but I think it was well worth all the effort because I think a lot of people got a lot of good information from it. This is 11/11 on 11/22, and I'm just gonna capture that because I like the sequence of numbers. I don't know why this area is closed, like the Capitol is closed at this time. I don't remember why it would have been closed in November. More Capitol. This was Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving Day wasn't really much, just like a small Thanksgiving dinner. It's my friend's dog behind glass. Like you can see his nose had like gone all over the glass door. This was the second part of process and permission slips. And we finally put up our Christmas tree. And now December. Finally the last month of the year. We can say goodbye to 2020. Just a lot of home. We made sugar cookies that weekend, and I'm obviously not that great at decorating cookies. A little selfie at the gym. Christmas lights. More dogs, more walks. Oh, snow. Our first day of snow in this winter season. It didn't turn out to be much, but just glad. My mom found my old report card and obviously all A's. Just joking, that was like for like art or music or something like that. We went to IKEA this day. The National Cathedral and the beautiful art installation there. We got a really nice sneak peek and it was so beautiful. This was Christmas Day. And I made my gingerbread house the day after Christmas just because, why not? And then at the end of the year, I rented a 200 to 600, which was so much fun and it was so cool. Like, so cool to use it. And so this is me in action with a 200 to 600 there. And I pretty much just spent like the rest of the year just with this lens, I think. Yeah, see, this is at the Lincoln Memorial for sunrise. This was Chinatown where I was out shooting with my 200 600. This was a dinner my cousin had made us, and it was a really nice small dinner. And this was New Year's Eve. We had Mexican, and that was pretty much it. Didn't really do much else besides that. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's definitely not as interesting as I thought it would be just because of COVID and stay-at-home orders and things like that. But let me know if you'd like me to do this in 2021, because I think I've already kind of started doing it just out of habit. And hopefully this year will be more interesting than it was last year. So happy new year again. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more photography videos or anything like that, please subscribe below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.